years of psychotherapies and things. I know this because I've worked in the mental health field before. Some of these things are so deeply rooted that it takes a long time for it to come out. With ayahuasca, my experiences, it gets to the roots of the problem directly, and it shows you through feeling, through emotion, through vision as well, where you hold these traumas and where the healing is to be done. Hi, my name is Aj. I'm a doctor from the UK. I'm here at inner.flight.retreat with Alexandra and Roberto. I just had my first ayahuasca experiences here. I want to start by saying that it's not for everyone. It's when you feel called to do this. There are a lot of misconceptions around this medicine. There's a really good screening process here. So if you're unsafe to take this in terms of your medications and your health conditions and kind of your past, then I want to reassure people that it's really thoroughly looked into, and people who aren't fit for this are taken out of this process, and they don't allow things which would harm people in terms of their background and their medical conditions. The medicine itself, it's been used by Shipibo shamans for probably thousands of years, and in a flight retreat, you do this in a very safe and comforting and homely setting. It feels like you're with family here, and you're very taken care of from start to finish in terms of your integration process, in terms of what to expect, in terms of pretty much everything you can think of. You're very well supported here. I felt called to do this medicine after about 3 years of following in a flight retreat and following Alexandra and Roberto. It felt like an authentic place to experience this. There are a lot of places which don't give you this authentic experience, but they've learned the traditional way from the Shipibos, and they're kind of passing on this tradition. So from my experience here, it's done in such an authentic way, and it's the way it should be done. Actually, it's not for anyone's gain. It's for your own personal growth. And like I said earlier, this is something that you need to decide for yourself. It's part of your own personal journey, and I felt called to do this because this is a natural medicine. It's a plant that grows. It's been used safely for a very long time. And yeah, I'd like to share with you my experience of what I took away from this. I'm now at the end of my retreat, and I'm getting ready to go home, and yeah, I want to share that with you. I came here because it was more out of an intuition, and I felt like I needed to discover these deeper aspects of myself and a more authentic place within myself. My first experience was mind-blowing. It showed me a whole new way to look at the world. It's something that people may not completely understand, but this is a medicine that talks to you, it talks to your soul, and you can have a conversation with it that is almost never ending. But it's not a malevolent thing. It's a very gentle, loving spirit, and it wants to engage with you, and it wants to heal you in different ways. I have personally lots of unhealed trauma to do with my childhood, to do with bullying, a lot of racial prejudice which I experienced growing up. Some things which I didn't even know were inside me that were hidden, that I could have never probably reached to if it wasn't for something other than myself, which could look deeply inside myself and show me where I needed to work on and what I needed to do. The first conversation with this medicine, it was deeply profound. It showed me so many visions of so many beautiful things, and more than the visions, more than kind of a psychedelic experience and visual experience, it's an experience which is deeply somatic. It touches different parts of your body, and it allows you to understand the connection between your body and your mind and where you hold trauma. There's a lot of different books which talk about how the body holds trauma. There's a doctor called Dr. Gabo Mate, and he talks about where the body is storing trauma and different things like this. And You can go through this process in different ways. You can go the psychological, analytical route to get to the bottom of your traumas. This can take sometimes a short time, but sometimes quite a long time, and years of psychotherapies and things. I know this because I've worked in the mental health field before, and I know that some of these things are so deeply rooted that it takes a long time for it to come out. With ayahuasca, my experience is it gets to the roots of the problem directly, and it shows you through feeling, through emotion, through vision as well, where you hold these traumas and where the healing is to be done. Like I said, the first conversation with this medicine was me establishing a connection, and immediately I thought after this it was a very profound and intense experience, but I thought, okay, this is it. I know that I've found this connection and I've had this experience. I don't need any more. Alexandra and Roberta are very experienced with this, and they kind of coached me through this beginning stage, and they showed me that it's an ongoing conversation, and that the first session with ayahuasca is establishing this connection, and then once you've established this connection, then the medicine has time to work on you and to see where things are being stored and things are being hidden. And like I said, you don't know some of these things are occurring, and we live patterns in our lives. We live these patterns unknowingly, and these patterns influence our decision making, our relationships, our job, our roles, everything. And if we can see where these patterns are, and if we can understand why we have these patterns, then we can also be released from those patterns, and that ultimately is liberation from the story of your life, and it allows you to actually freely choose what you want to do in your life. And more than this, actually, it touches a deeply loving part of yourself, and it just fosters this deep compassion for everything around you, this deep gratitude for family, the world around you, the friends around you, and it starts to redefine those relationships. It starts to redefine who you are, and it comes back to going to a more authentic place within yourself. And out of this compassion, out of this gratitude comes just light, and you can feel it, and it's something that I can't explain through words, but you can feel the light inside you grow, and it just keeps growing. And more than this, our time here at Inner Flight Retreat, it's not just about ayahuasca, it's about working with yourself, it's about working with other plants. Some of these plants aren't psychedelic, they're just deeply loving plants which are healing in different ways. And if you look at modern medicine, we've focused on isolating particular chemicals, concentrating them, putting them in pill form, and then using this to treat people. And modern medicine is very successful, and it has its absolute merits, and we wouldn't be in a place where we are, where we can heal lots of things through modern medicine. But modern medicine is lacking in the depth of human psychology. It's lacking in soul aspect. It can be very clinical and very sterile at times, and not so compassionate and not so loving. Working with natural medicines help to fill that void and to just bring the missing piece in healing, because healing is both physical, emotional, psychological, all of these things, and modern medicine can sometimes lack the emotional and psychological parts. Natural medicines have been used for thousands of years by shamans, by Shipibo, by different cultures, by Ayurveda, and these have been fine-tuned for thousands of years as well. So if you're going to where knowledge is passed down and you're not going to a source which is not reputable, if you go to the right source, then this is a completely new modality of healing yourself. And I'm living proof of this, and lots of people here are living proof of this. And I've seen people around me who have gone through years of therapy, years of talking, years of trying to analyze the root of the problem. And sometimes the root of the problem isn't in analysis, it's about deeply feeling and letting go. And I know that this is something that everyone can relate to. Beyond this, if you are in the spiritual world, and everyone is in the spiritual world, we just don't know it yet. We all have our soul, we all are deeply feeling. It shows you things that are beyond your comprehension and the mysteries of the universe, which are freely given to you. And these mysteries are held within you. You already know them. It's just a case of being shown where to look and letting go of things that are holding you back from seeing those things. And if all of these things can be done in the right way, as they are done here in Inner Flight Retreat, these facilitators, they've been learning as apprentices from these Shipibo for a long time now, and they're still in the process of continually learning. It's such an authentic place to have this experience. Like I said, it's not for everyone, but it needs to come from within you. If you have a feeling that you want to change your life, you want a different outlook, you want to heal something which hasn't been successfully healed in mainstream medicine or the mainstream way of doing things, then I encourage you to keep an open mind and just try something else, because you never know, this may be the path to your healing. And I want to thank Roberto and Alexandra for all their support, all their love, having home-cooked meals, having nutritious food, being in the sunlight, being here in Costa Rica where it's just abundant and you can hear the sounds of parrots and howler monkeys, and just the environment itself is healing. So when you combine that with this ancient healing method, it's truly heart-opening, mind-opening, and your soul can rest in an easy place.